that all-out manhunt right now for the world's most dangerous drug lord, Joaquin Guzman, known as El Chapo, broke out of a prison for the second time over the weekend. Officials say he escaped from this maximum security prison in Mexico through a hole in his cell and down a mile-long tunnel. And this is where that tunnel ended, inside a building in a nearby construction site. El Chapo is also wanted here in the U.S., where he's been charged with drug trafficking and murder. ABC's Gio Benitez is in Mexico with the very latest.
Robin, good morning to you. This is a man who the Mexican government had said would never break out of prison again, but he did, and this time from the most secure prison in all of Mexico. This morning, an all-out manhunt. Mexican authorities searching for the world's most notorious drug lord, Joaquin Guzman, best known as El Chapo, on the run after escaping from a maximum security prison again.
Chapo Guzman is like the Osama bin Laden of drug trafficking.
Guzman escaping from this prison 55 miles outside of Mexico City Saturday night, taking 18 prison employees in for questioning. According to officials, El Chapo was last seen in the shower area of his cell around 8:50 p.m. Under that shower, a dugout hole, just 20 inches by 20 inches wide. Authorities finding a ladder they believe he used to drop himself 30 feet below ground, winding his way through an elaborate mile-long labyrinth of tunnels. The passage about as tall as El Chapo himself, 5 feet 6 inches, but well lit and fully ventilated with PVC piping. The passage even outfitted with a motorcycle. The end of the tunnel, this gaping manhole surrounded by cornfields on a half-built piece of farmland. And nobody would have found it strange that someone was building a tunnel underground, because just take a look behind me. These are tunnels that are under construction all around this area. That's the prison right there. The man known as the most powerful drug trafficker in the world is the head of the Sinaloa Mexican drug cartel. A man so rich he's made the Forbes billionaire list, and so powerful, officials tell ABC News, he's responsible for tens of thousands of deaths by overdoses or murders.
Whenever there's a community in the United States where you can find the presence of drugs such as heroin, cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, even designer drugs, those drugs are connected to El Chapo.
Guzman, now 60 years old, first broke out of a different maximum security prison in Mexico in 2001 and wasn't captured for 13 years. The Mexican government parading him in front of cameras, saying those famous last words, that he'd never escape again. And the Mexican president now calling this an insult to Mexico, but he says he is confident that law enforcement here will capture Joaquin Guzman again. George?
And let's bring in our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, U.S. officials anxious and angry about this escape.
Yes, good morning, George. El Chapo is facing multiple drug conspiracy charges here in the U.S., and some U.S. officials were concerned that this exact thing would happen. They wanted him extradited, and that did not happen. Given the amount of carnage and overdoses tied to this man, my sources, to say the least, were extremely unhappy. And if I could sum up their reaction, it would be, really? You let this man get away again? I can't even use the word that one source used last night.
I'll bet you can't. So what is the U.S. doing right now to help Mexico get him?
The DEA is working their informants and sources to see what they know, and it's likely that U.S. intelligence agencies could also get involved. This is a huge failure. It would be like Al Capone breaking out of a federal prison twice. This man's cartel is responsible for more than 25% of illegal drugs in the U.S., marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and this will reignite questions about corruption within Mexican law enforcement. According to one congressional study, the U.S. has spent more than $1 billion to help reform the Mexican criminal justice system.